Gotta love women that listen to me. No. That she doesn't listen very well at all. I say play 80s rock and I get 90s hair metal or something. I don't know what I get. We were actually getting some good music early this morning. Got some Jump, Van Halen.
Nice.
Yeah, we got some good 80s rock. I'm really surprised that Brandon over there likes all my 80s rock stuff. He's not old enough to be in the 80s. We're up? Oh, see, I like that. So now we're up on all our cameras. All 4 of them.
Awesome. Let's do this.
You excited about this?
I am. Very.
Hey, Brandon, what episode's this? Oh, yeah, well, I'm excited about it. This is the 62nd episode, I believe. Cecelia Davis stops by. This is the 62nd episode of the Jam Session.
Excited to be here.
I'm very excited for you to be here. Now, what this Jam Session is, so just so everybody knows, we have Cecelia Davis, realtor with Keller Williams Realty, and what we're going to do today is I want everybody to get to know you. The point of this Jam Session is hopefully for me to be able to introduce you to more people. Okay, I know the people on this camera over here is probably going to know everything about you. Maybe not. We're going to maybe try to find some things that they don't even know. But over here, these cameras, maybe not everybody knows you, right? I know you're pretty good, pretty popular. You're out there a lot, but maybe we might find 1 or 2 people on my side that don't know you. And what I hope is that, in 6 months, 8 months, a year, I get an email or multiple that say, hey, thanks so much for introducing us to Cecelia. It was awesome. We, found the perfect home, or we sold our house. I mean, that's ultimately what this Jam Session is about, okay?
Okay.
So from a macro 30,000 foot view level, just quickly, because we're going to get into some specifics.
Okay.
Who are you?
I am a rock star agent.
Rock star agent.
I am.
Right
yes.
out of the gate, right?
Yes.
Right out of the gate.
Love what I do. Love helping people. I'm married to an awesome husband. I have 3 kids.
Boom.
And
wow, nice.
Yes.
Married, 3 kids.
And 2 grandkids.
And 2 grandkids.
Yeah, I've got to mention them too.
Oh, well, yeah. Those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
Those are the fun ones because those grandkids I hear you give back. I got 12 and
Yes.
14, so I don't know anything about the grandkid piece yet. But I do know that you get to give those things back. And you get to spoil them, have a great time,
Yes.
load them up on everything fun, and then just hand them back.
Lots of chocolate, caffeine, and then just give them back and let them go
Chocolate,
home.
caffeine?
So, yes.
Your 3-month-old, we're doing espresso already?
Yeah.
Well, you got to introduce them to good stuff.
Exactly. So it's kind of me.
Uh-huh.
I work a lot.
Yep.
Love what I do.
Yeah.
Love helping people.
Well, you got your real estate license, back in 2008.
Yes.
Okay. So is that kind of when you started? Were you in real estate before, and you got your license in 2008, or kind of tell me what happened there? You got your license and started selling real estate.
I actually owned or part owner in a real estate company before I got my license.
Okay. Wow.
I was doing finance, so was not anything real estate related.
Okay.
Decided I wanted to do something to help others, and then also have the freedom that everyone thinks you have being an agent.
Yeah, let's talk about a little bit of that. Freedom isn't, that's what everybody thinks that you have, right? That's not really the case, is it? Because you find yourself working a lot more than maybe even what you had prior. So is that a true statement?
Very.
Okay.
Very.
So what were you doing prior to real estate?
Finance.
Finance.
Yes.
Like what I do, finance?
No. Auto.
Oh, okay.
Did auto finance.
Okay, gotcha.
Did that forever.
Uh-huh.
Worked my 9 to 5.
Yep.
Off on weekends, and then just decided, owning the real estate company, I got some of the side of it and learned it, and then just decided when I had my last son that I wanted to stay home with him. So I would do real estate kind of as I wanted.
Mm-hmm. So you got out of it, or you got into it because initially you had a little bit of that taste, a little bit of that experience on the other side of it, having some ownership, but you figured, hey, I'll get into it as an agent, be able to help other people, of course, but you kind of were looking at the freedom side of that.
Yes.
Okay. And that changed.
It did.
Okay.
I got into it in 2008 when the market was kind of crashing.
Oh yeah, great time to get into real estate.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, right? I mean, thank you, because it depends on what side you're looking at, right?
Yes.
Some people are looking at it glass half empty. This is the worst time ever. But there were a lot of opportunities out there to help people get out of their situations, help people get into better situations because of how prices were coming down. Is that maybe some things how you felt?
It is.
Saw? Okay.
And one thing, in 2009, I learned short sales. And so I did a lot of short sales to help people. 2008, 2009 were some of my best years.
So for people that don't know what a short sale is, tell them, kind of give them an idea a little bit of what that is from a high level.
So it is someone that is upside down on the house, and the bank agrees to take less than what they owe to avoid a foreclosure.
Yep.
Someone that's had a bad situation, they've lost a job, they've gone through a bad divorce, they did the 5-year interest only.
Yep. Yep.
Which
Oh yeah.
I saw
That was a big.
ton of those.
That was a big one. Yep.
So that was kind of I did a lot of those in 2009, 2010. 5 years they paid only interest, and then all of a sudden their payment went up to $2,300 a month.
Yeah, that was from a bank that eventually went out of business.
Yes.
Like Washington Mutual would have these 5-year. They would even do neg am, so they would do an interest only. So you'd have 3 options. Basically, pick a pay is what they used to call it.
Yep.
You could have a fully amortized loan, you could have an interest only loan, or you could do a neg am loan. You get to pick every time you make a payment. So what was happening, guys, was a lot of people, because they had the options, right? They hey, I want to spend more money on some pleasure things, right? I want to get a new car, I want to take a vacation, all that kind of stuff. I get it, that's all cool. But what was happening is they would choose either the interest only, or most of them would choose the neg am portion, which means they're not even paying enough to cover interest on that loan. So what was happening was that $300,000 loan ended up becoming $375,000.
Yes.
Right, $400,000. They were completely upside down, and that was predominantly one big bank that had done that, which is no longer in business. But there are other companies that had that product, and it was tough on some people.
Very.
Yeah, because it was.
They went from paying $700 a month to $23.
Yep.
And they couldn't afford it.
And so you would go in and help them get out of that situation before somebody foreclosed on them.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yep. A lot of happy people for that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I did 32 short sales in 2010.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're not seeing as many short sales now.
No.
Okay, that's good. So when you were getting out of finance and getting into real estate, did you get any people saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, you're leaving your corporate job, salary, you're going into this unknown, straight commission, but you also have expenses to build your business? Was there any of those naysayers out there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
They thought I was crazy. They thought I would be back into finance within a couple of years.
Okay.
They never thought that I would be able to make what I made doing finance.
Right.
They thought, with real estate, your income was limited.
Sure.
And so I've pretty much proved all of them wrong. And I'm still doing this and continue to do better every year.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So, yes.
You just overcame it just basically by producing.
Yes.
You didn't listen to them. You just said, hey, good for you. Glad you have your opinions. You went on just production, just to produce.
And I wanted to prove everybody wrong that I could do it. And so that just motivated me to do better.
So what drives you more now today to continue doing this?
My family. That's my why. My kids, my husband.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, if I'm having an off day, all I do is think about them and why I'm doing it, and I still get up out of bed and I still go work.
Neil,
huge goals.
Neil, your husband's a pretty big supporter of yours, right?
He is. Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
So are my kids.
Okay.
So they're my biggest fans, and that helps me to keep going.
Yeah. What do they say? It's like I tell everybody, like Jen, my biggest fan, but also my biggest critic. I mean, she's like, Bob, really? You could do that a lot better. I'm like, really? Come on. I mean, give me some love. I'm trying.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
No, but definitely my biggest
Yes.
supporter and fan. There's
Yeah.
no bigger cheerleader. So pretty sure you have that in your life as well.
I do.
And I think that's important because for those of you guys that don't know, I mean, in this space, this isn't a 5-day-a-week career. It's a 7-day-a-week, 365 career. I mean, we don't have time off doing what we do. Now, yes, we do get to take time off when we choose to take time off, but it does do one of two things. It significantly impacts our ability to provide because we just exit and we take a break, right? And that's not what you do. If you take a break, you're still engaged, right? You're still doing things, so you're still working, but it is a different challenge because you're there the whole time.
Yeah, there's no set schedule. And you just kind of, like you said, even if you have a day off, you're still responding to emails, text, or doing something to help somebody out.
And I think that's why it's important to have a very supportive spouse or significant other, whatever that gets it, right?
Yes.
I mean, Jen and I will be at dinner and, my phone, which I always have, is either blown up with text or phone calls. And most wives would be like, will you put that up so we can have dinner? She's like, do you need to get that? Do you need to respond? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, just give me 1 second, I'll respond, and then I'm out, right? Because, I could do it really quickly. Because I do believe in, time kills deals, speed wins. So if I could get to it quickly and either say I need an hour before I give you the full response, or I can respond with the answer right then and there, it brings everybody's, it brings everybody's heightened awareness of any challenge or whatever down. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, cool, he got it, he'll get to me in an hour. And then I get to go back to having my wonderful dinner with my wife.
And you have to have that support too and understanding.
Yeah.
My family pretty much is supportive with
Mm-hmm.
that. They know if a client texts or calls, I'm going to take that. And like you said, tell them, hey, I'll respond in an hour. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And that way you're still engaged with your clients and also engaged with your family.
So when you first got into this, and you can go whether it was 2008 or kind of a little bit further along, what did you identify, I think, that really set you apart, to be able to handle this business? I mean, I think you mentioned it just a little bit earlier. We were talking about the naysayers, but what was really what set you apart, where you know you could do this?
I'm very goal driven,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm very passionate about what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love helping people. I love being there. And I treat everybody the same, whether it's a $10,000 client or $1 million client. They're all going to get the same service,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that sets me apart. And I want to help. I'm not here just to get a paycheck. If I think that a house is not a good fit for a client, I'm going to be honest and let them know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just being transparent with them and being honest and upfront, that's really helped me build my business and sets me apart.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of like your characteristics, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, transparency is important.
It is.
Mm-hmm. I use things like, empathy, enthusiasm, energy, to kind of, when I start identifying things that are important for either myself to bring to the table every day or the people that I would look to bring on to my team, because, and I got to believe a lot of it would translate over to yours. I mean, empathy. I mean, we got to be on all sides of the table, right, with our clients to make sure we're understanding their needs more than ours, for sure, but understanding them and what they're really needing to get out of this decision to either buy or sell. Especially like when you started out with those short sales, you really had to have a lot of empathy to get on that, to get to that place to help them more so than what you were doing it for to help yourself.
Oh yes, and it's got to be more for the client and not what you're going to benefit. And most of my clients, we end up friends after the deal.
Yeah.
And I talk to, some of them are my best friends now. And so
That's awesome.
huge to me, and I keep in contact, and it's just, like I said, it's not a check. It's not about the money for me. It's about how many lives I can change and help them get into homeownership.
I love that. So the impact of lives.
Yes.
That's exactly how we measure our success is really squarely based on our ability to impact enough people's lives and change their lives so that ultimately our lives can be impacted, right? So, I mean, if you focus on those things, I think it's a really great recipe for success in a business. Because if you just look at it from a dollar standpoint, you miss on a lot of really great opportunities. I can't tell you how many opportunities. I've had so many opportunities from people that I made the least amount of money on, but they were so thankful that I took the time to do what I needed to do to help them get what they needed, that ultimately they were just referring people to us.
And that's same for me. I've had clients that they're buying a $50,000 house, and I treat them the same I would like a $1 million client. And in the end, I mean, every time I turn around, I'm getting a referral. Hey, this person wants to buy a house. This person wants to buy a house. And I don't push people, whether it takes them a month or 3 years. I'm still going to be here and helping them.
Right.
And letting them know what's going on in the market, and just keeping them updated. And then when they're ready, they come back and they buy with me.
Huh.
So, yes.
So if they were trying to find you really quick, what's your, throw out your digits for me. So if anybody wants to reach out during or after the show, how would they get a hold of you?
214-205-6310.
Say it again.
214-205-6310.
And you can find you on Facebook as?
Elite Home Partners.
Elite Home Partners. And I'll have all these things, guys, in the feed. If you followed it, you see it. I got phone numbers. I got a website. I got your IG and your Facebook little mentions in there. So hopefully we can drive some traffic for you that way. Energy is important.
It is.
And I mean, you got to get up every day and bring it, because this word is kind of overused and hyped a little bit, but it is a grind to do this. I mean, every day you probably have a lot of miles on your car driving and showing homes. I mean, it's. But when you're thinking about impact, you don't really care too much, do you?
No, and you've always got to have the positive energy and just be happy. There's days I show for 8 hours, and it's just back to back to back clients, but all of my clients I'm going to be happy and just excited to work with them. And so I think that's huge, because, and even if you feel bad, you still have to get up in the morning and have energy and call clients and meet with them. And that's, you never let them know what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad day.
Well, I think that goes to the enthusiasm piece, because they can, people hear how you're handling things inside of yourself when you make that call, right? I mean, we talk, I mean, like overused stuff like smile when you dial, type things, but it's true. I mean, people do hear it, and I've talked to agents, whether they've been in the business 22 years or two days, and I can teach that agent that's been in the business 2 days how to beat that agent that's been in the business for 22 years. And it's basically on energy and enthusiasm. Some agents, right, and it happens with loan officers as well, will get complacent and say, well, I've been doing this for this much time, I have this much experience, you need to do business with me. And the other side of it is, I'm hungry, I need it, I want it, and they can hear it and feel it, because clients don't care about how much you've done.
No.
They care about one thing. They're done. Their loan, right? Their transaction, their home, their sale, their buy. And so that energy and enthusiasm, I do believe holds more weight in people's decisions in choosing an agent or a lender than just experience.
I agree.
But when you can put all of those together, it's a nice little home run.
It is.
Yeah.
And clients, I mean, they care about how you treat them and how you help them. They don't care if you've done 500 deals.
Right.
I mean, it's all about how you make them feel.
So you would agree that we're kind of like in the feel and experience business?
Yes.
the better we can make people feel about the experience the client is having, we all win. The client wins.
Yes.
We win because then they refer us more people.
Yes, and if they have a good experience, they're going to tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if they have a bad experience, they're going to tell more people.
Yeah, it's really easy to get a bad review.
It is.
It's very difficult. Even when you provide like 10-star service on a 5-star scale, you give 10. It's still hard to get that 5-star review.
It is.
But man, I tell you, if you provide 4 stars and they wanted 10, they'll leave you a 1-star just like that.
Quickly.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And you know what? I don't mind it. I mean, I love the fact that people have the ability to voice positives and challenges very easily. It keeps people like you and I in check on, because we are fully transparent in our business, and like for me, I'm really out there big on social. Then I know we have to get up every day and bring it, and exceed expectations, or else you could go and look and see 1-star reviews, which I'm proud to say we don't have that.
I don't either, so.
There you go.
Which is exciting, so yes.
So we just got to get up every day and do that.
Yes.
So are you like team? So is it you? Is it a team? Tell me how all this works with real estate for you.
So right now it is me.
Uh-huh.
I do have an agent that is coming back, so that will be
Good.
announced soon.
Oh, good. Good.
I have a really awesome transaction coordinator and admin that
Uh-huh.
he handles all of my paperwork side, so that I'm able to continue to show, and he does all of that for me.
Good.
I am looking for another buyer's agent.
Okay. All right.
Someone that has the same passion and drive that I do,
Mm-hmm.
and that's hungry and they want to learn and they want to work.
Okay.
So I am looking for a good buyer's agent if
Now-
anyone's interested.
Yeah. So are you looking for someone that is already a buyer's agent on a team, or somebody that's out there on their own, not really maybe maximizing everything they can maximize on their own and looking for a leader, or just someone that's brand new, not even in the business, that wants to get in the business? Kind of, I know that's 3 different types of people, but I mean, what do you think you're looking for?
So I'm kind of open to any of those. I love taking new agents, mentoring them, and helping them reach their goals,
Okay.
and helping them get to where they want to be. If they're experienced, I mean, that would be a plus.
Okay.
But I love mentoring and helping, and so I would love to have a newer agent
Uh-huh.
that I could help get
Okay.
them where they want to be.
Okay.
But then again, if someone has experience, I don't want to pass that up either.
So for that newer agent, what would be some advice you would give them? Because I mean, you look at it, and I don't know the 100% of all the statistics, but a very large portion of the agents that get their license, they quit after 12 months. Okay, a very large percentage, guys.
Yes.
So, 1, why do you think that is? And 2, what advice would you give that person?
I think they give up too soon.
Oh.
It's not easy. It's not something that you're going to get your license today and you're going to make $100,000 in a month.
I mean, it's hard to make $100,000 in a year for most people, right? The average agent, guys, the average agent on a national basis makes about $33,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the average income for a real estate agent. And you got to think about all that they have to go through to make that $33,000. So that's one of the reasons why they quit, is because they come in here with an expectation that they're going to make $100,000.
Yeah.
And they realize, holy crap, this is hard work to make that kind of money. Would that be a fair?
Very. It's
Okay.
not easy.
It's not.
You have to put in the time.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I put in mine.
Sure.
And so it's not something, I mean, people don't call you and just say, hey, I found this house, let's do a contract and we're going to close tomorrow. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Find a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, I have several.
Yep.
I do coaching.
Yep.
I have a really awesome coach right now that is helping me. And you have to be with also, I think, a good company.
Mm-hmm.
That as a new agent, you need to take advantage and soak up any training that you can.
Love it. Yeah, you know, the training piece, the coaching, the mentoring, I think that's huge, because here's, and I got to ask this question, I think, on I think one of my last Ask Bob Mortgage shows, a loan officer actually asked this question about, because there's a lot of layoffs going on in our industry right now, a lot of them. And they were concerned about like what happens with like loan officers, where they get laid off. And I said, well, if you're a producing loan officer, you're bringing enough value in production, you ain't getting laid off. Trust me, every company wants production. So that's just one of the safest places, if not the safest place to be, is if you're a true producer.
Right.
But, because I didn't know if this person was new or not new, I didn't know anything about them. So I said, if you're new though, right, kind of speaking to your new agent piece, I think the main thing that you do is you need to slide up underneath somebody.
Yes.
Go find that producer. So when you're like with what you're doing, I think is perfect. If you're a new agent and you want to get in the business, or you're out there on your own, you just don't know how to get to that next level, slide up underneath a team, right? Get yourself a team leader that can really work to mentor you, provide coaching, provide opportunities, open the mind to what it could become, right? That has been in it long enough. But then also give you two things: a path to go on your own eventually, and a leader that says, I'm going to do everything I can every day to earn your loyalty so you don't choose to go on your own.
Right.
Right? I think that's all we can do. I mean, I have loan officers that, do exactly that. They slide up underneath me to handle the business that I have. And some will say, I want to stay right here. I love it. Everything comes in perfectly. I like it. I don't have to worry about going out and getting my own deals. I love that. Then there are going to be some that choose to go on their own.
Right.
And I'm okay with that too. And we just provide them that path to where they have the opportunity to, be their own originator. And I think that's kind of what you're providing and talking about.
It is. And again, yes, if you can get under a team,
Okay.
being a new agent, highly recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to learn a lot. And I think don't give up in 12 months. I think with anything, give it 5 years and see what happens. And soak up all the training, soak up anything that you can get. Even go shadow agents.
Yeah.
To learn what they're doing, so that you know how they're doing it, how they're successful, what they do every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes time, it takes work.
Well, and they also got to decide how bad do they want it, right? So if you're measuring how bad you want it based on how many people you want to impact, how many lives that you want to serve and impact and make better, and you're not placing it on the dollar that you're making, then you have to put in check, depending on your personal financial situation, where are you? Like, how many steps backward are you willing to go, right? Yeah, you have this house, but are you willing to go into an apartment?
Right.
You have, this car, are you willing to do something different? You got to really consider all those kind of things, because if you get to that point, as that guy's chipping away, trying to find the diamonds on the other end, he stops and it's just right there. You got to decide, are you willing to take a couple of more steps backward to stay in the game long enough so that you can ultimately realize two things: impact of people's lives and dollar return. Because if you focus on the impact, the dollars will follow in this business. There's absolutely no question. But you cannot put that first.
No, you can't. You have to be willing to help others too.
Uh-huh.
You can't be a secret agent, and you can't. If somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you, like another agent. If I can help somebody, I will. And that's just because I think that's going to come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Helping others, and I love helping agents. I love helping them grow their business, and so that's a passion I have too.
And you've even taken the step to grow your mindset by hiring a coach as well.
Yes.
Tell me how that's going.
So I've been coaching with him just for a couple weeks.
Oh wow, okay.
But he's awesome.
Yeah.
But I've coached with others before, and it really makes you get out of your comfort zone, and it helps you see what you can do better to make your business better and to help others. And so my new coach is awesome, and so I know that that's just going to help me grow my business.
Yeah, that's important, and I think getting comfortable being uncomfortable is how you can expand and grow and and I think grow. I mean, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable in your business life, you can't find new ways to challenge yourself and grow.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And you have to get very uncomfortable in this business, from making phone calls to showing to listing presentations. So if you're a new agent, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to make you uncomfortable.
To doing videos,
to
having 4 cameras on you and everything else and a mic
but you just have to do the stuff and do the work, and it's going to pay off in the end.
Mm-hmm. So where do you feel like you draw a lot of inspiration from? Is it
just from my family?
Family, yeah.
They keep me going.
Yeah.
They keep me sane, I think. On most days.
On
anyway.
most days.
My husband will probably argue with that, but yes, they keep me balanced.
Yeah. Well, I'll use words like harmony, because the balance piece is hard, because I'm never in one. I'm kind of like always in everything at one time.
Yeah.
And so you kind of got to be able to handle it, go back and forth. And I'd love to say that, even when I'm talking to a client, my 12-year-old isn't asking for, it's what it is, right? I mean, we have to deal with that as entrepreneurs and as family men and women and, everything else. So our industry is going through a lot of, I would say, disruption right now. A lot of new companies popping up, a lot of new, styles of how customers engage with agents, a lot of technology as well. So how do you feel that benefits or hurts clients, and what are you doing that kind of separates yourself through, embracing these type of disruptions or technologies?
So you just got to continue creating your value. With some of these companies, they're popping up and they're going to list your house for free.
Right. Yeah.
But all they're going to do is they're going to stick a sign in the yard. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a call center that answers your calls from Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Right. From Bangladesh.
So, yeah.
Right. Yep.
Right. So if you have a question at 6 o'clock, you're not going to reach anybody, and if you do, you're not ever going to have that personal interaction with the same person. Mm-hmm. So I think we just have to, in this industry, we've got to continue creating value. You've got to stay up to date on all the trends. I mean, as far as with social media, technology-wise, you've got to be savvy to texting. I would say 80% of my clients text.
Yeah.
There's some I never even talk to until the first meeting.
Right. So you're texting them leading up to that meeting, but that's how they want to engage with you early on.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Even emails is not as effective as text messaging right now.
Completely agree.
And so you've got to be able to do that, and you've got to be able to communicate with them on their level. Mm-hmm. So with every client, it's going to be different. I mean, if you have somebody that's a doctor or an engineer, and then you have somebody else that they do, it's your different clients. You've got to be able to adjust to their personalities and how they are.
Agree.
And I think that's huge. Some clients, they want you to talk very fast. Some want you to talk very slow. So you've just got to
read them. You got to read them, and you got to know. I mean, I think that technology has definitely made both of our lives better. Yes. Meaning how we can serve and impact more people's lives. I know it's made your guys' lives better based on how you can engage with us. And how you can see what you want to see when you want to see it, right? I mean, look, I'm not a fan. If anybody has watched me before, I'm not a fan of Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, any of those types of sites, because all they want to do is grab your information and sell it and make money, and they're providing you like 60% of what she can provide you as a licensed real estate agent on MLS. So, but I do so appreciate what technology has done for us in our businesses. I can serve more people from anywhere in the world, right? Just like that, utilizing technology, texting people back and forth. I mean, what I can get done in a 5-second text to make people feel good that usually would have taken an hour, with phone calls and going back. It's so awesome. And with this, I mean, with people, I mean, still like to have conversations. I'm a belly to belly kind of guy. I like those kind of conversations with people. But the reality is, most people they want to go in and put everything in online at their time, right? You got to have those types of technology for people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they want to have the conversation still with a local market expert,
Right.
right? So they want to search for homes, but they still want to talk to you about things like, well, is that house, how close is it to the school zone? Right? Well, how's that going to affect traffic patterns? Those are things that technology guys, those people, those companies aren't going to provide you when you call a call center.
Right, because they're not going to know. And they're not going to know the market. They're not going to know the areas. So that's, I think, going to be a huge advantage for the agents that are...
Embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got to, study these companies and know what are they offering and what are they doing, because with every one of them, there's fine print. And if you can also show value and show that with like listings, they're offering them cash, but I can show you if you list it and we can get your home sold in 30 days and I can net you more money, then I've got to show my value so that we can still beat out these companies that are coming in.
So what would you give to somebody, let's say, that's selling their house? What piece of advice would you give to them when they're kind of going through the process of selecting either an agent or a company? I mean, what's the advice?
Find one that fits you, someone that's going to work for you. Make sure that they know what they're doing and that they're going to provide a good service to you. I think interview 3 agents and make sure that you get one that fits.
Would that be the same advice you'd give to a buyer looking to buy a home, is to go through an interview process?
I do, yeah. I highly recommend that. I close a lot of homes, and one thing people love is I don't make them sign a buyer's rep with me.
Really?
There's a lot of agents.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
They will not show a house without having that signed. I don't think I've really got them signed ever. So I'm huge on letting them test out. Like if you go buy a new car, you don't want to sign the contract before you drive the car. So why not build that relationship? And with my clients, they're not going to go anywhere else. They come to me, they trust me, and they continue to work with me, and I'm not forcing them to sign a contract to stay with me.
So you are more like the way we operate as a lender, because there are agents that will say, look, before we do anything, I need you to sign the buyer's rep. But guys, the buyer's rep agreement says basically you've entered into a contractual agreement that you will use that agent to find a home over a period of time. And even if you find another home and you don't use that agent, you're still obligated to pay that agent a commission. Okay, so I'm not an agent, but I want to make sure I got that right. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so you don't do that,
No.
and you still show them all the homes, and you still, same with us. A buyer could come and use us for their loan, and they could go to 4 of the mortgage companies and go through the same process with them, and we don't even know who you're using until you've, like, so many days until closing, you've actually committed to one of us on the deal, right? And it is sometimes exhausting, but it's also the only way I would choose to do business, because I know then that for BobMortgage and Team BobMortgage, we have to get up every day and earn somebody's loyalty, not expect it.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't want to force anybody into signing something until they've, met me, they want to work with me. And if they want to work with me, they're going to stay with me whether they have a piece of paper signed or not.
How many homes do buyers typically look at before they make the decision to pull the trigger that this is the one? I mean, is there like an average number of homes, or?
My average is about 5 houses.
Okay. So you must do a pretty good job asking questions.
I do.
Okay.
I have a strong buyer consultation. I mean, you do have some that they look at the 15, 20 houses, but on my average, it's about 5 houses, and they find the one.
So when you say a buyer consultation, I'm assuming that means you're going to want to sit down with me as the buyer and ask me a lot of stuff.
Yes. What are you looking for? What is your dream home? What are your must-haves? What are what would you like, but it's not a necessity. And so
must-haves, would like to haves type things, right?
Yes.
I'd like to have that, but it's not a deal breaker, or it is a deal breaker, if it's not a must-have, right? I mean, so you kind of go back and forth on those.
Right.
Okay.
And so if somebody tells me that they will not take a house under 1,500 square feet, and then they send me one that's 1,100 square feet, I'm going to ask them what changed. Why are we going to look at this? And so doing that, I've pretty much narrowed down what they're looking for.
Good for you.
And then we're not out looking at a lot of houses.
Guys, if you're agents out there, that's a really good tip, because I have talked to many agents that are like, they'll put up somebody in, and show them like 25 homes, and only 5 actually met the criteria that the buyer really, really wanted. And so the buyer ended up getting frustrated because they were looking at all these homes and they never made it to the ones that they really should have been looking at in the first place, and so they stopped looking. So you need to qualify your buyer based on what those must-haves are and would likes.
Yes. And price point too. I mean, you've got to be very narrowed down on that. Locations. I mean, there's a lot that you need to talk to them and know and get to know that person. And like I said, if somebody tells me they don't want something under 1,500 square feet, we're not going to look at anything under 1,500 square feet.
Not going to make it under. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to ask them why. I mean, did something change? I mean, what would make you want to look at this?
So they find that house, perfect house. How long is it before you're really saying, hey, we need to make an offer on this thing? So they've looked at the 5 homes, they've narrowed it down, and bam, we got perfect house. We want that house.
We need to make the offer right now.
No, I want to take the weekend to think about it. I want to sleep on it for 48 hours.
Well, while you're sleeping on it, somebody else is making an offer, and they're taking your dream home.
Right. So there's something though, and this is not a sell. That's not a sales tactic or anything like that. That's like legit. Like, look, people are out there making offers on homes. So there is a protection mechanism in a contract, right, that allows a buyer to get in and out of contracts.
They have their option period.
Okay.
So what I tell them is, if that's the one that they want, what would happen if they go home to sleep on it? Well, that's somebody else's dream home too, and the next morning that house is gone. So let's make our offer today, and then if for some reason you decide this isn't the perfect house, you have your option period. We can terminate and we can find the next house.
Yep. And guys, that option period is it could be 5 days, 7 days, something like that. And there's going to be an option fee that you pay, and it could be what, $50, $100. I mean,
Usually
something
about 100.
Something small. Considering that the fact is you just found your dream home,
Right.
and it gives you the ability to go home and sleep on it, right? It gives you the ability to go home and sleep on it for a couple of days and decide, okay, that wasn't the one, or you know what, yeah, it was. I'm so glad we did, because now there's 4 other offers on that house. So acting quick, making a solid offer is probably another thing that you would probably recommend for the buyers out there. Is not, go in there and just make a low ball offer because that's what you feel like you need to do. You need to really evaluate comps, right? Because that's what you're doing with them, is saying, hey, the house is $280,000. The comps are supporting the 280.
Yeah,
right?
We don't need to offer anything under 280.
Right.
Because right now in our market, I mean, we're not getting a lot of low ball offers.
Correct.
It is shifting, so it's not as crazy as it was a couple months ago, where you're getting 20 offers on a house, but they're still getting the multiple offers, and so you just have to go in with a strong offer. There's no, like what I explained to people, there's no second chance. First offer needs to be your best offer, and go with that.
They also kind of need to be prepared to, there's always going to be negotiations, right?
Right.
So make your best offer, but be prepared to negotiate a little bit. Where's a good place for the buyers out there and the sellers that are thinking about, okay, where am I going to negotiate? And the buyers, where can I negotiate? Where's a good place to negotiate even after a contract's been signed?
Usually during repairs.
Repairs.
Would be, yes.
Yep.
During the option period, when you have your inspection, and then we can negotiate repairs and try to come off the price or get the repairs done at that time.
there's a lot of value that goes into then making sure you have a good agent that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Because if you've gotten a house and the contract's done, and you still have the ability to maybe pick up, I don't know, $250, $500, $1,000, whatever it is, you want to know that you have somebody on your team that is versed in how to negotiate repairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got to know what you're doing too, as far as negotiating repairs. I mean, there's wording that goes into it that can very much affect your buyer, but it can benefit your seller. So you've just got to be able to do that and know how to negotiate, and then what's going to be the best option for that client.
So you work both buyers and sellers.
I do.
Right. So if you're selling a house and you're holding an open house, every house sells at an open house, right? No.
No, I think I've only done maybe 4 open houses in my career, and I've never sold one of my listings through an open house. So I'm not a huge fan or believer in those.
So why do people do open houses?
To generate buyers.
To generate buyers.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're a seller and you want your house to be held open, it's really going to benefit that agent on the buyer side, maybe to look for those buyers to go buy other homes, because most of them aren't going to be coming there to buy that home.
Right.
Okay. But a lot of sellers feel that it's there to, yeah.
And I think only 1% of houses get sold through an open house.
About 1%?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's not a very big number. So for me, I would rather, instead of doing an open house, take that time, and social media is huge. You can generate more leads from social media and actually interested people in those listings than doing an open house, from my experience. Yeah,
I just did one. I have an agent we're doing a particular ad for, right, on this particular house. Been sitting for just a little while. Excuse me, the house is it's priced in the 300s. And we're going to do an ad to reach a very good demographic that will have an interest in that location, and do the ad to where the buyer could potentially purchase this home with absolutely zero money out of pocket. So buy this home, beautiful home, it is, right? In a particular area, particular school district. We know these people are interested in that based on their buying habits and things like that within social media, Facebook particularly, and Facebook Live people, and do it where we can make them an offer where they can buy the home, get a grant, right, through the state of Texas to cover their down payment and a lot of their closing costs. The seller will contribute to cover the remaining closing costs if there's any. And literally, these people would be able to buy the home with no money out of pocket. You can't do that in an open house, guys.
No. And you may sit in an open house for 3 hours and nobody come in.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you do a Facebook ad and you can reach 20,000 people, and you know they're looking for a home based on their searching habits, then you're going to spend $40 and generate more buyers than sitting at an open house and potentially having nobody come in, or having the neighbors come in just to see what the house looks like.
Yeah, so, the neighbors.
Yes.
Those nosy neighbors.
So I'm not a huge fan of open houses. I do, most of my stuff is online. I generate, I think 80% of my business
online
is done online.
That's awesome. I mean, that's it's probably 93% of the home buyers out there today are starting online looking for homes. That's where they start, is online. So to be able to reach them and start engaging with them early on in the process means that you're definitely embracing this disruption in technology and everything in the market. And so, I mean, I feel that will better serve the sellers and the buyers out there when they're looking for an agent to connect with.
And you have to have a huge internet presence right now and social media. Because so many people, that's where they're looking.
Yep.
I met a client about a month ago. First time I met with her. And she was like, I know you. And I'm just like, okay. And I see you all over Facebook. Everywhere I look, you're there. So,
right.
And that's how, I mean, I ended up closing them, was she saw me everywhere. And so looked at me as just being the expert in the market. And So that's.
Yep, I'm a big, as you well know, I'm a big proponent of becoming a celebrity in your own space.
Yes.
Right? You have to use this opportunity here, right? We got 4 cameras on us to be able to create and document your content and then be able to distribute it out there. We do it on a daily basis because I feel that mainstream media does a very poor job of helping people understand how easy it is to purchase a home, to finance a house. And so my job and responsibility outside of being one of America's top 1% mortgage advisors is to be a media company and to basically take that approach and understanding and mindset and distribute content daily so that it helps educate people. Now, they may not use me, but that's fun. I mean, hey, if they're using my content to become better home buyers and make better decisions, great, then it does everything it's supposed to do. Right. Now, but I hope that, over time, because if they start 12 months before they actually pull the trigger, which is a lot of times when people start, they're kind of talking to their spouse or significant other or whatever, they're kind of, laying in bed or they're looking on their phone. Hey, I think I really would like to maybe buy a house sometime. But that, do we want to call Cecelia, our agent? No, let's don't call her yet. Let's just start looking online. That they come to find you or they come to find the stuff that I put out and they learn and they get more educated about the process and they feel more comfortable about it and then they pick up the phone and engage. I know you're seeing it happen in what you do. I'm definitely seeing that happen in what we do as a media and mortgage company. I mean, it's just kind of what I see. I don't know.
Well, you have to do both. And I think most of my business from 2013, I don't do Zillow. I don't do any of those. But I've done a lot of online.
Sure.
Up until this year, probably 95% of my business was online. And this year it's starting to shift and I'm getting more referrals. So I'm probably at about an 80-20, but it's still online and I pay very little for my leads. I don't invest, like I said, in Zillow, Realtor.com, Truly. I don't do any of those.
Well, it needs to be organic. I mean, if you have the right approach, and I mean, that's what all ours really is. I mean, it is pure organic growth that we've experienced because of just my take on what we need to be doing with our content is just distributing it and giving it away. And I feel the more that you give, ultimately you win in the long run. You may sacrifice some of the short-term windfalls that you could make by charging for online courses or doing different things that gets people to buy in that way. I'd rather just give them a bunch of stuff, educate them, and then earn it over time. Right. When they do make that decision. And I may not get their first house, but I'll get their second or third or fourth house when they really keep engaging with the content.
Right.
Yeah. It's good. This is good talk.
It is.
Yeah, you feel good about this?
I do.
Yeah. Everybody love our guest here. I know this camera does over here. Hopefully you guys got so much value out of this. I mean, there was a lot of great stuff that we talked about. I think you really embrace technology the right way. You really look at it not as a negative disruption in the industry. You're looking at it as something that's very positive.
Yes.
You're getting ahead of it and educating people, which is huge,
yes.
Right? A lot of people will just sit back and complain.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
No, not at all. You have to embrace it, or you won't be in business in a year. So you have to learn what is working, and you have to stay, like with me, I mean, online leads, I mean, a lot of agents hate them. I love them. I love the challenge when somebody signs up online of converting them. But you also can't give up after 2 phone calls. And so you just have to study
gosh, no.
So
it could take 24.
Yeah.
I mean.
My average is about 12 calls and text, and then they finally, okay, since you're not going to stop, I'll buy a house with you.
Right.
Or let's meet. And so you can't give up and study the market, see what these other companies are doing, and do more.
Well, but that's a mindset. Okay, so
Yes.
you either have an A mindset, B or C mindset. So I talk about top, middle, and low, and I'm on record of saying this a couple of different times. The A's will always be great because they're going to continue to push themselves and embrace all the things that you're embracing, and that's why you'll always continue to grow and be better. Your C's, I think, that have an opportunity to actually become better because they have very far or very a minor amount to fall before they hit rock bottom and bounce back up. Either they're going to be able to hit and go up, or they're just going to get out. But I think the ones in the middle are the ones that I get most worried about in both of our spaces because they've become comfortable. Mm-hmm. And comfortable is a path to bankruptcy. It is. I mean, if you're comfortable in this space, you're not going to survive. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable to grow.
Yes, yeah. You can never get comfortable. And it's always changing. And I mean, there's stuff that I do that I'm not comfortable. Mm-hmm. I mean, like today, but hey, I'm here.
Oh, you did a pretty good job. You did.
So you can't stay complacent and comfortable and expect to grow. Mm-hmm. And especially right now with all the changes in the market, mm-hmm. you've got to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you've got to work. It's not easy. You've got to put a lot of work into it.
Well, if you're looking for somebody that's going to work their butt off, give her a phone call. The digits will be in there. The website's going to be there. Go and throw out the phone number one more time.
214-205-6310.
Okay, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, give Cecelia a call. If you're an agent that is thinking about either a potential agent getting into the business and wanting to find a good mentor, leader to help you develop and grow, give her a call. Or if you're one of those out there that knows what they're doing, it's just you're struggling a bit. And I know there's those that are out there, not for any. I mean, you're not struggling because of you just don't know what you're doing. You're just struggling because you need to find somebody that can help push you along, help sometimes bring you to places that you haven't been able to get to on your own. And we're all kind of in that space. We always look for people that are where we want to get to, and I think you'd be a good fit for that as well. So definitely give her a phone call. Guys, we appreciate you so much for giving us your eyes and your ears today. It's very important to me that you chose to watch and listen. We thank you very much for that. If you like the show, give us some thumbs up, some likes. You don't like it, I get it. Tell me that in the comments as well. I'll make sure we do better the next time. But thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.